decide, you know, I think I'm done. I think it's time for me to hang it up. And here we see Brian Hooper stepping into the cage. He's 3-2. He's grappled with us 5 times now. Really solid record.
And Brian has a ton of MMA fights, which is something I didn't realize until I was doing research a little bit of just watching some of his film last night while we were thinking about Griff potentially entering this tournament. So
he's been in the game a long time.
He has a lot of experience.
And, you know, I like that. I like a guy who, you know, starts out his career in MMA and then decides, you know, I'm gonna keep going, but I'm just gonna grapple. You don't take the kind of damage you take in there in MMA, and like you can keep your career going. I like that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here is Griffen Leombruno, your protege.
He is. He's one of my favorite students. One of my best students.
He's just fat.
Yeah, you can see he's clearly weighing. I'll probably yell stuff at him.
Was he asking about time?
What's that?
Was he asking about keeping the
Yeah. He was just asking me what he wanted to do for coaching Griff.
Standing 6'1", 170 pounds, fighting out of Danville Martial Arts in Stanford, Kentucky, presenting Brian Hooper. Fighting out of the red corner, making his LLC grappling debut. He is the former LLC featherweight MMA champion, weighing 152 pounds, from Morgantown, West Virginia, Griffen Leombruno.
As you are referee tonight, UFC President Dana White.
Swan always catches the Dana White references.
Dana White for Halloween again.
Now, very quickly, Griffen is
Nice
locked
sprawl.
up at the neck. He's
Yeah,
trying to get a guillotine from
Looks
the
like he
top.
might be looking for high wrist, but now he settles into a kind of a cow catcher. We'll see what he does. Hooper's not really doing much with that forearm. I think that's why he's so intent on hunting the neck here.
Hooper definitely needs to start fighting the hands with a little bit more desperation.
Yeah. And Griffin's not going to, he's got good chest pressure too.
A lot of people feel like they're safe here from the guillotine, but
Yeah.
I used to hit it from here a lot. I like hitting it from weird places. There's a lot of times if you can get that deep chin strap, you can land a lot. And there's the darts.
There's the darts, and that's pretty tight already.
He's got a deep bite on that arm. If he
Yeah.
can just sprawl out now, and that's what he's doing, I think he might close the show. I wouldn't even worry about getting that leg out. I would just sprawl.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay here and maybe even try to climb up into mount.
Yeah, it looks really tight.
I don't know. It seems like Hooper's all right, though. He doesn't act panicked. He doesn't act like he's in too deep of trouble. I think that bite's not quite deep enough.
Yeah, and Griff Wisely, I think he's
It looks like he's got his arms in there, relieving some pressure.
Yeah, something didn't quite feel right there, so he made the switch back up to a chin strap there. Now
And
we
you see,
him.
look how tight that chin strap is. Beautiful work. I love that position.
Yeah, and he's making his transition from the chin strap back to the guillotine.
His head's going to pop out, but let's see. Griffin's going to land in mountain. He's right in that armbar position now.
And that looks like what he's going to attack.
But beautiful job by Hooper. He knows he's in trouble, so he cuts back to half guard. Now, how disappointing was it when you heard former featherweight champion?
It's a rough one. We knew that was probably going to be his last cut to 45.
You guys worked so hard to make it to that belt. You know, tonight you thought this is going to be our first defense. You know, it really threw a wrench in the works. But did you try shaving his mustache? How much weight do you think that would have?
It's not worth it. Even if the mustache was 5 pounds of iron, it still wouldn't have been worth it to us. Now we see him starting to settle here into a smashed half. He's looking for a Kimura on the far side, which it looks like he might have.
I think he's going to
pretty
try to switch it, maybe that straight arm lock. But now Hooper gets his hands together, a little bit safer now. Hooper's really just surviving at this point, though. He's really letting Griffen play his game. See, he's just hanging on. He's got to move. You've got to move if you're on bottom here. You've got to make space. You've got to elevate him. You've got to do something different.
Yeah, and one of the things we've been working with Griff a lot on, obviously he's been in an MMA-focused camp, so he hasn't been doing specific jiu-jitsu stuff for a second here. A lot of smooth, solid positional control and not so much submission sniping. I think that's why we're seeing this style here.
It's excellent work from Griffen so far. Flawless performance.
We might see him setting up a Darce again with that needed chest connection there. We'll see what happens.
That's a sneaky Darcy setup as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and we
Now-
see him starting to walk in that direction.
Hooper,
Yeah, there it
Hooper's
is.
doing a good there. Yeah,
And
his-
that's
Oh, he got that
That's
immediately.
a very, very tight darts when you can get it.
Great job.
Right.
By round one, Narsha Griffen Leombruno. He is moving on to the semifinal of the tournament.
And up next we have Wes Thompson.
Say I'm good-hearted, but I'm just getting started. Got my eyes on the target. Now